What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to today's video. Some massive action taking place in Italy's Serie A this weekend as we see Juventus hosting Napoli at the Allianz Stadium in Turin. We start off our team analysis with the home side here being the Bianconeri. The last 5 fixtures for Juventus have ended in 3 wins and 2 draws, so Juve come into this one unbeaten. Their last match was a 3-1 win over PSV Eindhoven in the UEFA Champions League earlier this week. In these last 5 fixtures, Juventus have scored 9 goals and conceded just 1. So Juve are getting goals, they're not conceding, they're looking like title contenders once again. The first player I'd like to talk about for Juve has got to be Dusan Vlahovic. In 5 appearances, the centre forward has scored 2 goals and provided 1 assist. Dusan Vlahovic is quick, he's strong, he's technically gifted, but I think now we're seeing a Dusan Vlahovic who contributes more to the team than just goals. You're seeing him building up with others, you're seeing him linking up with the rest of his team, contributing assists, and just being more than just a centre forward. Next up, I'd like to talk about young winger Samuel Mbangula. In 4 appearances, Mbangula has scored 1 goal and contributed 3 assists. Those are some massive numbers for a player who's just started turning out for the first team this season. Mbangula has proven to be a player with great vision, great technique, very quick, but also always very aware of what's happening around the pitch. This is a player who I think for Juve could really be a creative force out wide, completely nullifying any absence felt by the departure of Federico Chiesa. And finally, I'd like to talk about Italian central midfielder Locatelli. In 5 appearances, Locatelli has yet to score or assist for his club side, but Locatelli has built up some really good chemistry with Mbangula on that left side of the field. We see Locatelli functioning as part of a double pivot for Juve in the midfield, either going forward to support the attack or dropping deeper to provide a bit of defensive cover, depending on the situation. But in Locatelli, I think Juventus have a central midfielder who's very flexible, very adaptable, who can win the ball and operate as a deep line playmaker from a more defensive position. Next up, we look at the away side. Now, for Napoli, their last 5 fixtures have ended in 4 wins and 1 loss. Their last match was a 4-0 win away at Cagliari in the Italian Serie A. In these last 5 fixtures, Napoli have scored 9 goals and conceded 4 goals. So, Napoli also are looking like a team that is fluid and getting goals, but unlike Juve, they seem to be shipping them in at the back as well. The first player I'd like to talk about for Napoli has got to be Georgian winger Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. In 5 appearances for Napoli, Kvaradona has scored 2 goals and contributed 2 assists to his team. Kvaratskhelia is looking more and more like that player who led Napoli to the Scudetto title a few seasons ago. He's looking fluid, he's looking creative, he's looking like a player who's not afraid to take other players on and take shots. We're starting to see Kvaratskhelia flourish once again after a season that was a little disappointing by the high standards that he set for himself. Next up, I want to talk about new arrival at Napoli, Romelu Lukaku. In 2 appearances, the Belgian centre forward has already scored 2 goals and contributed 2 assists. Lukaku has so much experience playing in the Serie A, having played for Inter Milan and Roma. And I think in Lukaku, Napoli have a player who can really not just replace Osimhen, but give them something more. Lukaku is a physical centre forward who's very strong, he's very quick, he knows how to hold the ball up as a target man, but Lukaku also knows how to hit the back of the net, time and time again. And finally, I want to talk about another new arrival at Napoli in Scott McTominay. McTominay has made just 1 appearance for Napoli so far, but I think it's only a matter of time before we see McTominay breaking into the first team. McTominay for me is a very flexible kind of player, a player who can play as a defensive midfielder, as a central midfielder, or as an attacking midfielder. He's got a wide array of skills, he's very good at passing the ball, he's very good at controlling the game, but McTominay is also very good at creating chances for others and scoring goals. So I think in McTominay, Napoli have a kind of Swiss Army knife that is able to operate from those midfield positions. Okay, on to the S3M2 verdict and the head to head. The last five fixtures between Juventus and Napoli have ended in one win for Juventus, three wins for Napoli, and one single draw between the two sides. So, going by that statistic alone, it kind of looks like Napoli have the Bianconeri's number here. When we look at the amount of goals scored in these ties, Juventus have scored 4 goals, but Napoli have scored more than double that with 9 goals. So I think that further reinforces the idea that in recent years, Napoli have definitely been much better than Juventus. Right now, if we look at these meetings again, we can see there's no clear cut advantage for Juventus whether they're playing away or at home. If we look at the league table, Juventus find themselves in fourth position on 8 points, while Napoli are sitting pretty in second position on 9 points. So just a single point separating the two teams, and it's all to play for on this match day. Looking at injuries, Juventus are obviously still missing Paul Pogba through his suspension, and Conceição at right wing, along with Milik up front as a centre forward. So Juve might look a little starved up front and in certain areas, but I think the Bianconeri have more than enough players to still go out there and field a very, very competitive squad. I'm expecting to see Thiago Motta lining his team up in that 4-2-3-1 formation with that double pivot to just control the midfield. I think that left side of the midfield, that link up between Locatelli and Mbangula, has really reaped dividends for this team. We're seeing great chemistry between these two players already this quickly in their career, and I think it's something that's just going to get better and better for Juventus. I think we're going to see Juve still lining up to try and control the game, just play their possession style of football, with Vlahovic operating as a target man to hold the ball up. You'll then see other players moving into other positions higher up on the pitch to try and support him, and Vlahovic is either going to be taking shots to try and score goals or trying to play these players in. But I think Juve are just going to try and slow it down and play the game according to how they want to play it. Napoli, on the other hand, come into this one with a fully fit squad. Antonio Conte is probably going to line his team up in a 3-4-2-1 formation with Lukaku up front as the lone striker. We'll probably see Kvicha, Kvaratskhelia, and Politano behind Lukaku, operating as whatever they need to be, whether it's support strikers, number 10 playmakers, or veering out wide to play as wingers. But both of these players are very flexible and they can play a number of roles. I think also the departures of Zielinski and Osimhen have hurt Napoli, but not too much. We're seeing other players come up and step into those roles. Lukaku, in particular, has been very, very good at centre forward. It's also a very emotional and very important moment for Antonio Conte, returning to Juventus now with Napoli, meaning that he's probably going to get a bit of a hostile reception, unless Juventus fans choose to be more, I would say, nostalgic and remember the great things that he did for their club. Regardless, Napoli are probably going to play a style that contrasts what Juve are going to be trying to do. You'll see them play quickly on the counter attack with these quick, strong centre forward players like Lukaku, just trying to get at the opposition as quickly as possible, slicing through the heart of the opposition and just going straight for the goalpost. A lot of the time, we'll also see, I think, a midfield battle taking place between players like Lobotka and then probably somebody like Vlahovic trying to get a bit of space in there. And I think that's where players like Mbangula can now come into the game and make a bit of an impact. Juve also have other players like McKennie who can also make an impact in this one. So I think actually Juve come into this one a little bit stronger. Yes, they did play midweek against PSV Eindhoven, but it was a very good performance from the Bianconeri. That 3-1 win was well deserved, and maybe Napoli are feeling as though Juve might be a little bit more tired. But nevertheless, I do think Antonio Conte is going to set his team up intending to win this one and intending to face a fully fit and fully well rested Juventus team. But I still don't think it will be enough. I think as good as Napoli are looking right now, I think Juve are looking equally as good. And I think right now the Serie A is really heating up with all of the action taking place this weekend. My final prediction for this one is going to be Juventus 1, Napoli 1. I think Napoli have proven that they can score, but they've also proven they can concede. And Juve have proven that they can score, but they're keeping it solid and tight at the back. And I think Napoli will be able to take advantage of some of their slower and more sluggish defenders, players like Gatti and Bremer, who perhaps go a little too high up to try and support the team and can be caught on the counter attack by quick thinking and quick footed players like Kvaratskhelia and Romelu Lukaku. Hi, thank you for making it to the end of this video. We really appreciate the watch time and the fact that you took some time out of your day to spend it with us talking about the sport that we all love. If you enjoyed the content, why not, drop a like down below or comment in the comment section. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. And I mean, while you are here right now, have a look at some of our old videos too. They should be appearing on the screen right now, along with that subscribe button. So you know exactly what to do. Um, Thank you so much. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great day out there. And we hope to see you again very, very soon. Thanks. Stay safe.